Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about another important concept, that is about environmental problems. You know very well, environment is very important for us to live happily. If our environment is not good, surrounding environment is not good, that will affect our life. Our life will be in threat. So, environment is most important, very important for all of us, right? Good environment leads to happy life. So here what I am telling is, what are the problems we are facing in the environment. So environmental problems we are going to discuss. What we are going to discuss? The environmental problems. First one, environmental problems. Various components of ecosystems maintain a balance in nature. So in environment, ecosystem consists of various components, right? Various components of ecosystems maintain a balance in the nature. What are the components? Biotic and abiotic components, like that. So disturbances in any component of the environment causes an imbalance. There is a problem. So disturbance in the any component. So all components together maintaining the balance. Environmental balance. Okay, balance in nature. But when the problem is there in any component of the environment, causes an imbalance. Once again, I am telling to you, various components of ecosystem maintains the balance in nature. Disturbance in any component of the environment causes disturbance in any component of the environment causes an imbalance. What are the best examples of disturbances? Human activities such as come on, first one, industrial revolution. The first one is industrial revolution. The second one is urbanization, increasing urbanization or urbanization increasing. And the third one, urbanization, and the next one, so urbanization, then increasing population, and rapid change in the modern technology. What are those? Once again, some man-made activities, human activities such as industrial revolution, urbanization, increasing population, and rapid change in the modern technology. Rapid change in the modern technology are responsible for this accelerating the pace of the imbalance in the nature. What are those? Industrial revolution. Industries. So many industries. So you believe or not, paper industry, pen industry, plastic industry, so many industries. One not. So many. Because of this all industry is pollution. So pollution destroying the normal human activities, normal life on the earth, damaging our environment, disturbing our ecosystems. So like that. So first what? Industrial revolution, urbanization, cities, total damaging the land, forest lands, and developing the cities, and development way, highways, so many ways they are developing the cities. Because of that we are losing the good environment. Next, increasing population. You believe or not, once upon a time in India, just 40 crores or 30 crores population. Now, what is our present situation? We crossed 150 crores. 150 crores means, once imagine the situation of India alone. Worldwide you see what's the condition. So, because of this rapid increasing population and rapid change in the modern technology, okay, these all are largely responsible for accelerating the pace in the imbalance in the nature. So they are creating imbalance in the nature. nature. So that is the first point. Next, irresponsible use of technology. Irresponsible, not responsible. Irresponsible use of technology and contamination of air, water, and land. Okay, have led to environmental problems. So irresponsible use of technology. So much irresponsibility. So that is what too much pollution. So because of irresponsible of the techno usage of technology and contamination of air and water and land led to environmental problems. See, air is very important, water is important, land important. Because of technology, so much waste. Because of that waste, air getting pollution, water getting pollution, land getting pollution. This air, water, land pollution led to environmental problems. Number one, what are the environmental problems? Number one, global warming. Number two, greenhouse effect. Okay, ozone depletion, acid rain, etc. What is global warming? So when the carbon dioxide increasing in the atmosphere or environment, so what will happen? The rays which are coming from out the sun will come and will go back actually, but here because of these greenhouse gases, the heat or the rays will not go back, will be create some more heat on the earth. That is called global warming. Carbon dioxide increasing is called greenhouse effect. Because of greenhouse effect, the rays not going back to the sun, no, so the temperature of earth will be increased. That is called global warming. See the image in the condition. What is the global warming? When the earth temperature increases in the sense, what will happen? The snow hills melt, then the water level, sea levels will be increased, then floods, tsunamis, like that so many problems will be come. Acid rains, sulfur dioxide react with the sulfur react with the rainwater and forms the sulfur dioxide, acid rains. And ozone depletion. Ozone is a very important layer which is like a blanket cover our earth. So it protecting us from the dangerous UV rays which are coming out from sun. So like this all ozone depletion, global warming, greenhouse effect, acid rain, these all are led to which one? Environmental problems. So global warming, greenhouse effect, ozone depletion, acid rain, these all are affecting what? The problems. Now ozone layer depletion. What is ozone layer depletion? Why ozone layer is getting thin? What is the importance of the ozone layer? We will be discussing. So you know very well. The ozone, one of the adverse effect of human activities. So because of man-made activities, what is going on environment is thinning of ozone layer. The thinning of ozone layer is commonly called ozone depletion. Ozone is being depleted by pollutants like very important need bit. Thinning of ozone layer because of man-made activities, thinning of ozone layer. So the ozone layer thinning nature is called, that condition or that process is called ozone depletion. What's the reason for the ozone layer depletion? Because of the some substances like aerosols and methane. What is called aerosols and methane. The thinning of ozone layer because of which one? Aerosols and methane. So the condensed layer, what is this aerosols and methane? We will be discuss. Okay. Now first, what is ozone layer? What is the importance of ozone layer? We will be see. A condensed layer of the gas around the atmosphere. Okay, a condensed layer of the gas is present around Earth in the atmosphere. A condensed layer of the gas is present around Earth. Okay, around Earth in atmosphere. This is a point you should have to remember. Around the Earth. Okay, around the Earth. Which one? Around the Earth in atmosphere. Okay, so around the Earth in the atmosphere. So what I am saying is the condensed layer of gas Okay, condensed layer of gas, ozone gas, is present around Earth in atmosphere. Condensed layer of ozone gas around the Earth in atmosphere, it will be present. It is termed as ozone layer. Condensed layer of gas, ozone layer around the Earth in atmosphere. It is termed as which one? Ozone layer. The sun emits a radiation of different wavelengths. So you know very well sun radiations are different wavelengths. So on this radiation important to our planet are visible rays. Okay, some radiations are very important to our planet. Visible rays, infrared rays and ultraviolet radiation. What are the radiations? Visible rays. Come on. Infrared rays, okay, UV rays, and what you call infrared rays, ultraviolet rays, and these are the very important. These visible rays, infrared rays, ultraviolet ray and ultraviolet radiation. Visible rays, ultraviolet rays, and infrared rays. These all are important. Visible rays and infrareds are carry little energy which do not harm living beings. Which one is not harmful? Come on. Which do not? Infrared rays, okay, and the visible rays carry little energy which do not harm living beings. So infrared rays, visible rays and infrared rays carry little energy which do not harm living beings. Then what is the problem? So the energy content of ultraviolet rays, this is important. So visible rays, infrared rays carries little energy which do not harm the living beings. But ultraviolet rays lethal to living systems. Ultraviolet rays very dangerous. Why? The energy content of ultraviolet rays radiation, however, beyond the limits of tolerance of living cells. Beyond the limits of tolerance. So we can't tolerate the ultraviolet rays. So what will happen? So we cannot tolerate, right? So the living cells and may causes harm or even become lethal to a living system. So these UV rays harm or lethal to living system. Why? The energy which is present in the UV rays beyond our tolerance. That's why the UV rays are very harmful and causes what you call dangerous effects to the living beings and lethal to living systems. Then what to do? How to protect this from this UV rays? The protection from UV radiation of sun is necessary for survival and sustenance of living beings and in the ecosystem. So now these are very dangerous, lethal. So we have to protect what you called from UV rays. So who will protect us from the UV rays? That is the question. So that is only ozone layer is protective sheet, absorbs the UV rays. That's why we are happily living. So protecting the living beings, okay, of the earth from health hazards. Ozone layer is largely found in the which sphere? You know, stratosphere, ionosphere, troposphere, like that is there, right? In the stratosphere, the ozone layer is present. Means how many kilometers above from sea level? 20 to 26 kilometers above the sea level. So the stratosphere is present. In the stratosphere, ozone layer is present. Ozone layer absorbs the UV rays and protecting us from the UV rays. How the ozone is forming? This is a question. Okay. So the ozone formation. Okay, that is another important. This another important point. Stratosphere extends from 12 kilometers to 50 kilometers above sea level. So up to where? 12 to 50 kilometers above sea level. Stratosphere extends from 12 kilometers to 50 kilometers above sea level. Next, how ozone will be formed? That is important. Ozone formation. First, molecular oxygen present in the stratosphere absorbs short wavelength of ultraviolet radiation. Oxygen absorbs the ultraviolet radiation in the range of 1800 angstroms to 2200 angstroms. So while absorption, what will happen in the stratosphere? This causes splitting of molecular oxygen into constant atoms. So molecular oxygen absorbing UV rays. Because of this absorption, this molecular oxygen will be split. Splitting of molecular oxygen will be takes place. This is important. The constituent combined with molecular oxygen to produce O2. See, O2 splitted oxygen, oxygen. This oxygen will be joined with the oxygen. Okay, what will happen? What happened? You see, so it's forming the which one? Ozone, ozone, O3. So in this way, ozone is result in the photochemical reactions. So photochemical reactions. This is important. So with starting molecule oxygen in stratosphere along with the above reaction, another photochemical reaction also occur. Ozone absorbs UV rays. Okay, at the 2000 what you called ozone absorbs the UV rays. So this one you can remember. Ozone absorbs O3. Okay, will absorb the UV rays and converts the O2 plus O, and also O3. Okay, plus O gives rise to what you call O3. So this is important. So what is going on here? The ozone absorbs UV radiation in the range 2000 to 2900 angstroms, which causes breakdown of ozone molecules. So ozone absorbs the UV rays. Again, it will be breakdown to oxygen and O2, oxygen and O2 atoms. So the photochemical reactions, formation and destruction of ozone molecules is normal circumstances. So here forming, here destruction, here forming, destruction is a normal process. So circumstances balance each other. It results in the effective absorption. Because of this, effective absorption is going on. So like this, there will be no problem for UV radiation from the sun UV rays. But when the disturbance is there in this ozone layer formation, then we will face the problems. Come on, what is the problem? Ozone hole. The declined thickness. Finish. The declined thickness of the ozone hole in which region? Antarctica in 1985, Arctic in 1990. So the decline is going on of the thickness of ozone layer. That is called ozone layer depletion. What are the ozone layer depletion? The main reason for the ozone layer depletion are ozone depleting substances. Come on, what are the ozone layer depleting substances? ODS. What is the ODS? Ozone layer depletion substances. Number one, these are the substances which react with the ozone layer in the stratosphere and destroy it. The main ODS are chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons. Number one, halogens, methane, nitrous oxide, carbon tetrachloride, and chlorine. These all are okay. These are chlorofluorocarbons are the principal ODS. First one is the chlorofluorocarbons. So release some chlorofluorocarbons are harmful chemicals which are widely used in refrigerators. Where these chlorofluorocarbons are used? Refrigerators, number one, and air conditioners as a coolants, in fire extinguishers, in aerosol sprays and propellants. Once released in the air, these harmful chemicals produce active chlorine. Okay, in the presence of UV radiation. So active chlorine radicals, what they will do? They destroy the ozone by converting into to oxygen. Due to this ozone layer, the depletion is going on. So what are the effects of the ozone layer depletion? So effects. What happened if suppose ozone layer affects? Number one, what are the problems? Come on, you see. There will be cancer will come. UV ray increase the skin cancer, eyesight. So UV ray damage of to eyes resulting in the dimming of eyesight. Next, immune system. Damage to immune system hence reduce the body's resistance disease. Next, increased embryonic mortality. Harmful UV radiation will increase the mortality and developing of embryos. Next, photosynthesis will be declined 10 to 25%. Global warming, increasing the carbon dioxide levels. So automatically decreased photosynthesis leads to global warming. So what are the international efforts to check out ozone depletion? This is important. So Montreal Protocol, 1987, the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program. So conducted one meeting. What is called this agreement? One agreement is there. It's called Montreal Protocol. Today, more than 175 countries participated in this, including India. According to this protocol signed September 16. So usage of chlorofluorocarbons should not more than required. should stop the chlorofluorocarbons. Limit of chlorofluorocarbon production. So 150, 75 countries. Same like that, Helsinki Declaration. Helsinki Declaration, 1989. Okay, in 1989, majority of the nations pledged to phase out the chlorofluorocarbons by the year 2000 year. So Helsinki, in which year itself? 1989. So using of chlorofluorocarbons should have to stop in the 2000 year. So production of COs have been stopped. Since then chlorofluorocarbons replaced. So now chlorofluorocarbons replaced hydrofluorocarbons. HFC means hydrofluorocarbons. HCFC means hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Like that, replacement will be there. That's why you should have to reduce the usage of chlorofluorocarbons.